When it comes to Kenny Veach's mobile phone, which was found out in the desert, is one of the most important pieces of evidence in the case. However, it's one of the most mysterious pieces in which the rescue crew that found it, known as Red Rock Search and Rescue, have remained tight-lipped. Whilst the odd news article has made reference to the location and the date it was found, as for the condition and the contents on the phone, that's unknown of. Why would a rescue group remain so quiet about it when the general public, to some extent, ought to know when it's reported publicly and when volunteers are ready to go out and hike for themselves? If there are any signs or important details on that phone, it could help us learn about Kenny, his state of mind at the time, and if there was any interesting, eye-opening text messages or final phone calls made before truly going missing. As this article describes, these were the details that were provided. The title reads, "Cell phone of missing hiker found near abandoned mineshaft." The reason why this news article is so important is this is one of the earliest and first news pieces on the case, and it dates back to 2014 and the day of when the search was conducted and when the phone was found, the 22nd of November. Las Vegas. Volunteers searching for a missing hiker in Sheep Mountains have found his cell phone up a canyon and near a deep vertical mine shaft. Kenny Veach, 47, has been missing since November 10th. He told his family he was going to hike in the mountains and planned to return 2 days later. He has not returned. Now, in regard to Kenny telling his family, it was more so his girlfriend or friend at the time, more so. In quotes, "We found his cell phone close to a very vertical old mine shaft and we can't find another trail. Hence the scent coming to an end," which is rather strange. Red Rock Search and Rescue Commander Dave Cummings told News 3, in quotes, "It doesn't mean that he's down the mine shaft, but we have tracked him as far as we can. We are having our own other crews come in from the search areas." Cummings said, "Experts in wildlife and mines are being sought to come in and assist. Several dozen Red Rock volunteer searchers were combing the mountains Friday and early today. An air and ground search earlier in the week was conducted, but did not result in any clues to Veach's location." The problem is with those searches conducted, they were somewhat limited and sparse. It didn't last that long, and the case went cold pretty quick. From what we know of, even the victim's family didn't set foot out there. Granted, the terrain and environment is quite rough and unforgiving, but it just felt like it came down to the general public, not Red Rock Search and Rescue, but just YouTubers and hikers that went out there independently from 2015 onwards. Sean Horlacker, Jeff Clark, to name a few. And when it comes to Jeff Clark, he had some encounters with Red Rock Search and Rescue. Even Sean Horlacker tried contacting the DNWR and people within the area, such as park rangers. And yet these different groups remain so tight-lipped about the Mojave Desert, Little Joe May Canyon, where Kenny Veach was out there, whether they say they know about Kenny or they've got no clue, whether they give details about the reports and the photos and the maps and the routes, their response tends to be, "Oh, we can't talk about it," or they just go completely quiet. It's a open case. It may have gone cold, but you got the police report, the details there. You got the search team teasing at what was found and the location. On top of the phone, coins were found too. But it's the phone that's the most important piece, because granted, whilst a search was conducted on Kenny Veach's house, what was found there, his computer or laptop, and whilst that was checked, the search history results showed, "Help me, help." And that's all it was, multiple searches of that. That's what pushed the concept of a person wanting to end their own life, going along the mental health situation from what the girlfriend was suggesting. That convinced the masses of people out there. But just to say, "Help me, I need help," that could mean anything. Kenny Veach in financial trouble, willing to sell his house to make some money, quitting his job beforehand. He wasn't in a great place. Maybe he needed help financially. Maybe he needed help with something different, and it wasn't all to do with a matter of life and death, literally. It's open to interpretation, but it seemed like people had made their beds and their minds in a one-directional way. Ever since, in terms of the content of Kenny's phone, that is unknown of. And in regard to how it was found and the conditions of it, that's also a mystery. This is what Jeff Clark had to say from his opinion. How did a 2014 model cell phone and battery still have a charge if it was sitting in the sun at that mine for so long, roughly 7 to 8 days? The answer? The phone had to be charged, so they, as in search and rescue, could check it to be sure there wasn't any photos on there that they could not allow to be released. And in some ways that can be true, because when Jeff Clark did reach out to Red Rock Search and Rescue, they weren't willing to provide details, photos in general, whether that be photos of the search, photos of the phone itself, or maybe photos from Kenny's personal device. Even the victim's family hasn't spoken much about the phone, but when it comes to the search groups looking into it, they certainly did when it came to finding Kenny's vehicle out there on the 22nd of November 2014. In terms of what they found in there, nothing of interest. There was bits of paper here and there in the interior. So if they were willing to search to that depth there, Kenny's personal possession, then likely they did the same with his phone, charged it up, accessed it, just in case there was a hidden clue upon the device. But it appears that the general public will never know, because these search groups are not willing to share. And ultimately, if you wanted a case to be solved, to get a resolve from the victim's family's point of view to the search groups, then surely you would be more willing and open to share when it's not really reached any conclusion yet. Anything could help, right? But they've made it difficult upon themselves, and they've made it more into a mystery because of this level of silence. On top of all that, reflecting back on the actual search conducted the 22nd of November and onwards, when it was done, hike routes likely would have been mapped out, grid reference coordinates too, ticking it off the list. If that was to be shared with the general public, it would have made it so much easier for fellow hikers and YouTubers to make use of it and to know what's been searched, what hasn't, to get a general idea. But that lack of cooperation is lacking, and even Jeff Clark has acknowledged it to some extent. This is what he had to say in his words. My bigger problem with the scent trail is the failure of searchers and dogs to smell a week-old body in that wide open terrain and tight gullies. If they actually searched much at all, the failure of Red Rock Search and Rescue to be cooperative with current searches is inexcusable in my view. We need the original search route, maps, and original photos of the phone, coins, and truck interior. I tried getting that directly and they refused, and I tried contacting Kenny Veach, the sister to Kenny, to ask if she was ever shown that material, and she refused to answer. So we are all still guessing. As you saw in that earlier article, it's stated by David Cummings that the trail ended at the mine shaft, meaning it didn't go on any further. If Kenny Veach had gone on further, then the furthest scent would have been the freshest, not beforehand. So it makes you wonder, did Kenny go up to the mine shaft, drop his phone beside it and loose coins, and then double back on himself to be picked up by someone else to stage a disappearance? Even if that's the case, are Red Rock Search and Rescue aware of that possibility, or are they just clueless? It does make you wonder. In addition, the condition and state of the phone unknown of, Red Rock never mentioned or highlighted it. Whether the phone is smashed, broken beyond repair, a cracked screen, damage to the back, was it simply placed down by Kenny Veach, Was it dropped accidentally? Was it thrown down by Kenny or somebody else to try and destroy evidence? If Kenny Veach was in a rush, did the phone get quickly and abruptly ejected from his pocket as he was trying to escape from something or someone? There are many different interpretations, and in terms of coins as well, makes it sound like it was done on purpose by Kenny. Now, a phone, you could track GPS. Kenny didn't want to be traced that way, so leaving it behind makes sense. But loose coins and change, why would you need to dispose of that at the same spot? Is it some kind of mind games? Some kind of beacon marker to cause misdirection? Or just to say, hey, here's proof to say I'm out here? But did Kenny Veach intend on staying around in the desert? Or was he trying to exit an alternative way? And considering that Kenny Veach was known to wear deep pockets cargo pants, like in his hike video, you'd have to manually reach in, dig deep down into your pocket and pull the contents out. So it sounds like it may have been done on purpose. But on top of everything, considering Red Rock have remained fairly quiet and the details limited, can we believe in what they actually say? And when they're vague about the location of Kenny's phone at the mineshaft, whilst for most part of it, we've been made aware that there is only one mineshaft out there, and it's the one Kenny Veach stood near in his video, and that's where the items were found. Well, in recent time, SB Vegas Adventures, not far from that spot, has found a new mineshaft. Is it possible that when Kenny set out there, whilst his scent didn't go on any further north, could it have branched off, which led to this alternative mine shaft? And when Red Rock were out there and following the scent, it did end at a mine shaft, but not the mine shaft of Kenny's, but this alternative one by SB Vegas, who found it. It does make you think, and if it does branch off to a different mine shaft, then what other search areas need to be conducted, and what else was going through Kenny Veach's mind to be going in a different direction compared to his original hike route? In my opinion, I feel we would have been a step closer to the truth behind Kenny's disappearance if Red Rock had opened up and been more cooperative. But I want to know your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree, and if you've got any alternative theories or ideas. Be sure to drop a comment down below under the video and let me know what you think, and then I can respond back to later. If you do want to catch up on previous videos, such as last night, a very creepy but important one on really robbing an alternative search done, you'll find that top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is, including the full playlist on the Kenny Veach case. And if you do want to support the channel in general, pinned message below, PayPal link and channel membership. With that all being said, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. Be sure to hit the like button, share the video, and if possible on mobile, hit the hype button, because this level of awareness needs to be spread when most news articles fail to consider or bring it up, and other bigger channels don't mention it too. The phone is a very important piece of evidence, digital evidence. You look back at true crime cases, the phone pings, the timestamps, and what that can provide. The same could apply to Kenny. Now, granted, it was 2014, so technology hadn't advanced the way it has in present time, but still, a smartphone is a smartphone, so it would be able to track or do some kind of stuff. And it just makes you wonder at the end of the day, would Red Rock ever consider going back out there? And do you think that they gave up too soon? As said, you let me know your thoughts below. I think we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. My name's Warlike Raf. Goodbye and good night.